Alright, gang, bro. It's been a while. I ain't hopped on the YouTube in like some years, bro. Like, but apparently I'm missing out. Everybody telling me, you know what I'm saying, I need to get on the wave, and I see that, so I'm finna hop on the wave. I'm tired of working. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of working, so I'm finna put in this extra work here. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna tap in with the online world, see what y'all talking about. You know what I'm saying? We'll get it cracking. Shit. Shout out my if you still around my I don't know, like seven so whatever. Shout out my 7 subs. We all the way up to 100 though. On the fast track to 100. No cap. So man, yeah, y'all stick around, man. We gonna react to this. You know what I'm saying? Fake screen. You know what I'm saying? We gonna react to this. Let me see, man. I don't got an ad blocker, bro. I don't got an ad blocker, so I might just have to chop this up. So y'all work with me. I'm finna, you know what I'm saying? I'm finna learn the little tricks and, you know, the stuff that make the boat flow smooth. You know, and we gonna tap in, but we gonna react to why do Americans, what's going on, bro? Why do Americans vacation in the most dangerous countries? I don't know. Okay, people talk about going to Cancun, Mexico, all that. Not going. I'm good, brother. But yeah, we finna tap in, bro. Alright, actually, let me, you know what I'm saying? Let's do it like this. You know what I'm saying? Hit on with that.
Can anybody at TrappUniversity tell the class why we visit Mexico despite a travel advisory? What's a travel advisory? Kidnapping. Look how many times this is mentioned. This is called a federal travel advisory, advising you where you should and shouldn't travel. Now, obviously, if you go somewhere like most parts of Mexico City, Mexico is rather safe. In fact, there's a lot of Americans, primarily from Texas, that move to Mexico City. That's not where we go.
Shout out Texas, on God. Not gonna say where I'm at, but you know what I'm saying? That is the homeland, the real motherland.
Though, every year I have to tell another relative, either my mom, a cousin, or an auntie, why I'm not interested in going on vacation to Mexico with them. Where is Tijuana?
Listen, bro, my people don't be trying to. I done been to Mexico before. I ain't even gonna cap. I went to Mexico. I don't know. I was like 12, something like that. A long time ago. Went to like Chichen Itza or wherever. You know what I'm saying? But my people, you know what I'm saying? My granny be trying to fade Jamaica. But I heard they was smoking. Everybody in Jamaica, bro. Like, black folks, too. I don't know what's up. And I heard they, you know what I'm saying, they Zod kind of boof. So I don't see the risk of it. I don't see the reward in going. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm wrong. Tap in with Jamaicans, don't smoke me.
Baja California, separate from American California, primarily by the homicide rate. Fun fact, the name California most likely comes from a misconception. A poet named Garcia Rodriguez de Montalvo wrote a poem about Queen Calafia, the fictional queen of the island of California, which was also fictional, and 40 years later the Spanish discovered California, but since they didn't have satellites, they thought it was an island, and they said, hey look, it's just like the poem by that one guy, and then completely ignoring every name the indigenous people have for the area, they called it California. Anyway, in our California, 5 in every 100,000 people get murdered. In Baja, a state with over 30 million less people, 70 in every 100,000 people get murdered.
70 and 1,000. How you put that into perspective, bro? Where would 100,000 people be? And 70 of them finna go. 100K, bro. I don't know if I have been anywhere with just 100,000 people. And bro, don't mind the fan, bro. It's a fan in the back. Dang. I don't know, like what, how much? Actually, you know what I'm saying? We looked it up. How many people does a basketball stadium hold, bro? Damn, y'all can't even see what you call it. I ain't sure. Damn, what the fuck? What the flip? What's going on? Center. Bro, why is he being so extra? Seating capacity. Check local American airline arena capacity seats for 21,000 fans. Out of 100K, this is more people going out of 21. I don't know what the percentage is, bro. I was never a mathematician. Yeah, let me see what the how. Capacity. Texan Stadium. Seating capacity is still not 100K, bro. That's still not 100K, bro. The stadium is also home of the Houston Texans, and its seating capacity of 72,000 for a football game can be expanded to up to 80,000 for special events. Okay, that's close to 100. I think 70 people going. That's crazy work. I mean, and it is crazy, bro, because you don't normally hear about 70 people dying after a football game. That'd be wild.
I'm not the best at math, but this seems awful dangerous, and you'd honestly be better off in Stockton or South Central LA. You'd be more safe with Big U than you would in Baja California. Very beautiful though. Time for history. Ever since foreign
Big U is spank. I don't know if you know what I'm saying. If y'all keep up, Big U is spanking, putting belt to your hide, boy, at 60 something. No cap. But you know what I'm saying? No cap, spanking shit, boy. 600 years, crazy.
than you would in Baja California. Very beautiful though. Time for history. Ever since foreigners first discovered the beautiful land of the Mexica people, they just couldn't stay away. The first ever
My bad, bro. I keep pausing. So I don't know how long before I can start being myself on here. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to catch monetization. I ain't trying to, shoot myself in the foot. But I don't know if you ever seen Apocalypto. I don't know if that was real. I heard that the director caught some flack because apparently the movie Apocalypto was racist. And it was not a good depiction of what was going on. But, hey, this is where I went, on God. Actually, in the video, this is where I went in Mexico. If this is the Mayan towers, I don't know. They look the same to me. It might be different. Nah, this is different. This is not the same one. I don't know which one this one is. The other one got stairs all the way up on each side. But we went to the Mayan too.
Ever since foreigners first discovered the beautiful land of the Mexica people, they just couldn't stay away. The first ever mestizo, or the people we know mainly today as Latinos and Latinas, was a guy named Martin, who was only born because his father loved Mexico so much that he cheated on his wife and had one of, if not the first interracial relationship on this side of the planet. If you want to call it a relationship, Malintzin, I think that's how you say it, was a Nahua woman who gave birth to Martin and was most likely just a servant of Hernan Cortez, since we all know the Spanish pretty much exploited the land in every way they could. Now, Hernan, the guy that led the conquest of Mexico, was actually told not to do exactly that. You see, the Spanish already had control over Cuba in his lifetime, and Cortez had been living in what's today the Dominican Republic since he was 18. And he eventually worked his way up to being a secretary of the Cuban governor, but he wanted to conquer Mexico, probably to get a reward from the Spanish crown back home, and Cortez was a very experienced administrator at the very least, so at this point he told Cortez to get his men and go secure inner Mexico, likely hoping that he'd be be killed, but Diego suddenly had a change of heart, remembering that if Cortez didn't get killed, he would end up being seen as a hero or a great conqueror, conquistador, if he succeeded. So he told Cortez no, do not go to Mexico and do anything at all. And Cortez, likely looking for an opportunity to get rich, said, sure thing, Diego, and he took 500 men, some boats, and some cannons and went straight to Mexico. Now, good for him, when he arrived around Panama, he found a priest that had got shipwrecked and captured by the Maya people sometime earlier, and he ended up learning their
Hey gang, them cartel boys be on that no cap. I'm gonna let you know, be in the Texas on the border. I done seen it all. They be spanking shit. No cap, spanking. You know what I'm saying? What they say? What's the singer? Chelino Sanchez. Do the research. Do the research. No cap, they not playing out there. I ain't got no business out there. Crazy man.
language, so he was able to work as Cortez's translator. Cortez won some small battles and began converting the natives to Christianity. One of them, he ended up getting pregnant, and this woman, who I mentioned earlier, helped him meet Emperor Moctezuma, although his native title was Tlatoani. Fun fact, the official residence for the presidents of Mexico, or Palacio Nacional, I probably butchered that, was built from the material of Moctezuma's palace, likely on the site of the original palace. Now, when Moctezuma and Cortez met in Veracruz, Cortez says that after they exchanged gifts, the emperor volunteered to be a subject of the Spanish crown. Not very believable though, since the Aztec society was very elitist, so obviously most people believe this was a lie. Either way, Moctezuma was confined to his palace, and he ended up doing something to make his people angry enough to throw stones at him, until he died. After this, we know the long history of oppression and subjugation of the Aztecs and all of Mexico.
Stoning the niggas. Stoning. You stone me, bro. They used to stone people for cheating back in the day. That's crazy. They dig a hole, put you in the hole, and throw rocks at your dome till you separated from your consciousness. I don't know. I wonder what made people be like that back in the day, bro. This random as fuck. I wonder what made people be like that, but it was all just savages. But I guess they ain't had TVs and shit like that. Like, they had TVs and shit, they probably wouldn't be doing stuff like of that nature all the time, because it's a bunch of stories like that. They was, you know what I'm saying, stringing people up the trees, you know what I'm saying, or putting them in burning bulls, all type of shit.
As well as Central and South America by the Spanish, as well as the near eradication by disease. Fast forward to the end of Spanish rule, and Texas deciding they didn't want to be Mexican anymore, despite the fact that Texas is basically Mexico, south of Austin. I mean, look at this. What country would you think this was if I didn't show you the border? This is Texas.
Was Mexico. No, I'm playing. Texas, no.
By the way. Anyway, in 2017, Mexico had its deadliest year on record. How many of your family members went to Mexico in 2017? Probably too many, especially if you're from somewhere like Arizona or something. Now, of course, there are many cartels, but the ones that hit closest to home are the Gulf Cartel, or Cartel del Golfo, which operate right on the other side of Laredo, Texas. But around 2020, they broke up into several groups, which is also not good. There's the Sinaloa, which of course in the U.S. some of the main customers were the Flores twins and Rudy Rangel, also known as King Cato of Chicago. All three
I'm on RP, the boy DMX. I want to go with, you know what I'm saying, going to this rabbit hole. I don't know what they doing. He up in New York with it, man. That's crazy work upstate.
were just some of the Americans that ran million-dollar operations sponsored by the great deals they would get from the Sinaloa. Although their deals ended up getting cut short when the Flores twins were arrested, also their wives, and Cato was murdered in a barber shop in Chicago. Although his wife didn't face any legal consequences, allegedly she was either the daughter or a close relative of some type of law enforcement in the city, and the Flores twins also ended up cooperating with the feds against the Sinaloa cartel. The Sinaloa were so influential at one point in Mexico that they had the Secretary of Public Security on the
No beefing with cartels, bro. I hear stories about, you know what I'm saying, slick idiots going to run off on them. I'm going to take 100 I'm going to take 100 butterflies, and you think you finna get away? No, they finna come do some strange shit to your family. No cap, to you and your family and your lawyer, everybody.
Payroll doesn't sound very secure. And then, of course, there's the CJNG, the La Nueva Familia, and many more. But on to Americans in Mexico. Remember what I said about 2017? Now, from January 2017 to December 2018, there are 18 pages of Americans that died, not Americans that were kidnapped and held for ransom. 18 pages of Americans that died in Mexico. I counted.
You know what's crazy, bro? People go to these foreign countries as Americans. So only Americans. I mean, I'm sure other places do this, but especially Americans. We go to these people's homes, these new countries. We don't know none of the customs. We don't speak the language, nothing. But still, people have the audacity to go here, get drunk out their mind, gamble. I don't know if they got gamble. You know what I'm saying? Casinos and shit like that out there. It's a third world country, so. I mean, I'm tripping. But what? Drink out they mind. All type of shit. Buy, you know what I'm saying? Buy 5, 6, you know what I'm saying? Ladies, you know what I'm saying? I don't understand. For the type dudes, passport bros, that go and pay for that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Do shit like this with these people they don't know, don't speak the language. Just got them all in their personal space being, you know what I'm saying? Loose as hell. And then they get hemmed up. They just get kidnapped. And then they disappear. What is it, like 350,000 people disappeared or something? Don't quote me, bro. I do not know. Actually, just look this shit up. How missing a year and never get found, bro. What the fuck? About 1% of people who go missing a year. How many, bro? How many people go missing a year? How many people go missing a year and are never found? They giving me percentage. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to see your percentage, bro. Nationwide, there's roughly 6.5 missing 6.5 is it million missing persons for every 100K people. All right, according to the National Missing and Unidentified Persons NAMS U.S. database, more than 600,000 people go missing annually. Alongside that statistic, approximately 4,400 unidentified bodies are recovered each year. This means that only 0.7333% of people who go missing are found and are unable to be identified. Damn. 600K people? That's crazy work. Tell you, hey, y'all going to party, boy. Y'all gonna learn, though. No cap.
About 18 straight up homicides, and more than 30 of these deaths were just classified as other, which doesn't sound natural at all, and some of them were actually just classified as unknown. Now, this is an abnormal amount of death for foreign citizens in another country, with most of the murders taking place in Juarez or Tijuana, where Americans love to go for some reason. And a lot of the other accidents took place all over, such as Jalisco and Baja. Now, if you need me to tell you that Mexico is a very
The Jalisco cartel, hey, they be stepping on us. Yeah.
very corrupt country, you must not understand what the word corruption means. Of course, as you all know, I'm from a city where
I'm gonna pull you over, ask for your license and registration. For no reason. I'm gonna pull you over for no reason. If I was here. License, registration, and then give niggas like a $600-$700 ticket. But I'll let you go if you give me $600-$700 right now, or you going to jail. Fuck a ticket, you going to jail. If I was in Africa or like somewhere like that, I'm spanking shit. Stop right there. I need that.
Corruption is so prevalent that our vice mayor was a bank robber. Our state has the most corruption and bribery convictions of any elected officials in any other state. And our longest serving city official in history is currently in prison. Now, according to the Corruption Perception Index, which ranks countries based on corruption on a scale of 0 to 100, 100 being the least corrupt and 0 obviously being most corrupt, Mexico's rank is 26. Being more corrupt than Azerbaijan, a country that is widely perceived to have never had a fair election, Russia, a country that has only had 3 different presidents in 25 years, just 2 actually when you consider that one of them switched places with the other one while both ran the country at the exact same time, and more corrupt than Haiti, which doesn't even have a functioning government because when they did, they ended up giving power to gangs, and although it could be debated whether this is true or not, some gang leaders in Haiti right now claim they are still working on behalf of some government officials. But when it gets to the point where these cartels are organized,
That's not just in Haiti. These niggas out here be working for the feds, bro. Working for the federal agents. Too super gangster. You super duper gangster. You're a federal agent. How many bodies you said he caught? 40? He ain't never been in jail. You the lion.
billion-dollar corporations, law enforcement is weak and underpaid. Money talks takes on a very literal meaning in the country. Until 2018, Mexico had a very controversial president. He and his wife spent $2 billion on publicity in 5 years, the largest publicity budget ever for a Mexican president, by the way. He was also accused of controlling several automated social media accounts to keep unfavorable news away from the public. The scandal was called Peña-Bot, and he also did something funny with his presidential campaign money, and the guy in charge of finding election-related crimes claimed the president's administration tried to bribe him. But when he didn't accept the money, he received a message.
I think, bro, that should be wicked down there, bro. Like, wait, they say Pablo Escobar blew up the president on some dry shit. Blew that nigga up. Or whoever it was at the time. Yeah, boy.
Saying death follows you. Just in 2024, a former mayor, another woman who was running for mayor, a general coordinator for the police, and an indigenous activist were all assassinated in Mexico. From 2020 to 2023, an environmental activist.
They hopping out vans, broad day. I'm seeing this shit on Twitter. Hopping out scooters. Spanking shit, nigga. Uzi and shit, nigga, off the scooter, not even like no crazy real street bike. They on some shit that go like 60 miles per hour, spanking shit, switch, all type shit, boy.
Activist was found dead in a reservoir. A congressman was shot dead in a car. A former governor was killed while having dinner in Jalisco. Another congressman was handing out flyers when he was assassinated. A former politician that started a group to fight against the Knights Templar cartel in his town was ambushed in a vehicle before it was set on fire. And a federal deputy was also assassinated at a restaurant in Acapulco. The criminal organizations in this country are so powerful, it seems, that most politicians just don't see it as worth their life to try and go against them. There are some that do, and even some that manage to survive doing it. But the corruption and fear runs so deep that it's hard to say how anything can ever change. There is no doubt that probably the most unsuccessful war in history has been the war on drugs. Now, Mexico is no doubt one of the most beautiful nations on the planet, but the Americans that are usually on vacation here know nothing about politics in their own country, let alone international politics. More than half of Americans that visit probably don't even know Spanish. I can't tell.
Man, bro, y'all drug on out there. Y'all don't speak the language. Y'all kiki can, you know what I'm saying? Trying to be a passport, bro. You're finna get stuck for everything you have, including your life. They're finna stick you and move on. No cap. Yeah. Hey, I ain't even gonna lie. Can't even be mad at them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that shit sucks for the people that did pass. You know what I'm saying? Don't smoke me. But hey, bro, if you green enough to go out to these countries and, you know what I'm saying, indulge in what's going on without anything grounding you to some sort of, I'm trying to find the words for this shit. Anything to keep you safe, bro. You should draw in the world. I be hearing about people going solo traveling, like old boy that, I don't know if y'all seen, but old boy that be, maybe we react to one of his videos, but old boy that be in India, you draw here by yourself, just tall white man, It's dry. Speak American. Like, bro, these people are finna hurt you, boy. No cap. You don't even, and you just think, oh no, I ain't even gonna go into that.
Tell you how many Americans I've encountered all around the country that second guess their answer when you ask which America we live in. Also, the other countries in the Americas think that we're kind of silly for referring to ourselves as American while pretending that no one else is, when this entire hemisphere of the world is known as the Americas, plural. Brazilians are South American. Hondurans are Central American. Canadians and Mexicans are North American. Mexico also contains 4 of the 5 oldest cities in North America. If it weren't for Mexicans, we would be in more of a skill shortage in the U.S. than we already are. I know that some of the country boys in rural areas of the U.S. are handy and have probably taken apart a.
Shout out all my Mexicans, man. Shout out my Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? They be getting that shit done, man. Some hard workers, man. For all my Mexicans, man.
Four-wheeler and put it back together several times, but the average guy living in a metro area, especially a high-rent metro area like downtown Chicago or Manhattan, have no such skills. And I'm sorry to all of the Mexicans that are legally in the U.S. that still face the same discrimination as those that came illegally. I remember my friend Nikki, who is from Dallas by the way, was confronted by his ex-girlfriend's dad, a dude from rural Indiana, and he insultingly asked Nikki if he could even speak English. Nikki, again, was born and raised in Texas and has spent more time in the Midwest than he ever did in Mexico, and likely only spoke Spanish as a second language. Now, if you've never been to Mexico City, I seriously encourage you to visit there before you just go to Tijuana and end up being held for ransom or something. It's a huge country if you just look at the map. And also, second guess your grandma if she ever shows you a janky looking resort package for a trip to Mexico. My mom actually just got scammed like this because apparently some people pretend to be travel agents and take advantage of senior citizens, but just book your own flight and your own hotel. And also look at the news. Thanks for watching.
Oh yeah, man. That's on Slight, man. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get back to it, man. We're gonna find some more shit, some more stuff to react to, man. Catch y'all on the flip, man. It's your boy Petro. I'ma see ya.